ARK is about to change forever. Tonight, ARK's storyline is officially moving forward for the very first time in years, and the Lost Colony DLC is set to bridge the gap between Extinction and ARK 2. And this is going to be a massive shift and is going to shake up the entire future here for the game. Lost Colony is a canonical expansion, meaning this is real ARK story progression. It takes place on Arat Prime at Earth's southern pole, during a time called the Necrocene. Basically, eternal night, extreme cold, and a broken planet. Buried under the ice is a massive gothic metropolis powered by red element. It is going to be ruled by a figure known as the Lost King, and the entire point of this place is to stop survivors from essentially escaping Earth. This is the end of the ARKs, and essentially the beginning of whatever ARK becomes next. The Lost Colony map isn't just big, it's hostile by design. You've got frozen tundra littered with crashed ARKs, bioluminescent forests that react to auras, a collapsed volcanic caldera powering the city, and radioactive aberrant crash zones full of corrupted creatures. Add in deformable snow, dynamic blizzards, a dense urban combat in a gothic city, and we already have something very different than we've ever seen or felt in ARK before. Now let's talk about one of the biggest new features that's going to be added here with Lost Colony, and that is the Thrall system, basically the NPCs. Lost Colony will be introducing Thralls, and no, these are not dinosaurs, these are full-on NPC soldiers. They use weapons, they wear armor, they have combat classes, and you can recruit them, command them, and straight up control them. You can earn their loyalty by defeating outposts or force their submission by raiding strongholds. And once they're yours, you can essentially use them to guard your base, automate resource gathering, you can manage inventory logistics, or you can even send them in combat instead of risking your own life and gear. And here's the wild part, you can actually directly possess one of these thralls through a neuralink, which basically means scouting dangerous areas, pushing fights, or even clearing zones without having the risk of losing your survivor. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they can also ride dinos. This is going to be huge and massive for solo players and small tribe players. It honestly reminds me a lot of something like Soul Mask, if you guys have ever played that game before. Lost Colony also changes ARK's endgame. Instead of just farming until a boss fight, the map will actually revolve around repeatable outpost missions. You can do things like defend Thrall outpost against the Revenant hordes to earn favor, or attacking their strongholds to weaken the Lost King's control. Your choices will actually matter here. The allegiance affects hostility, access, and progression. And I'm not exactly sure why, but this sounds a lot like, or reminds me a lot of, the contested war PvP/zones from things like World of Warcraft. Maybe I've just played it way too much in my youth, but in general, that's the first thing that comes to mind. It might be very heavily inspired by that, and I am curious to see these things play out in-game and how active players do think that they need to participate. On top of that, Lost Colony is going to be introducing 70 new skills. Yeah, 70 of these bad boys via 3 progression pathways. The Wayfarer is going to be focusing in on combat and mobility. The Beastmaster will enhance your tames and thralls, and then the Utility will let you manipulate the environment, resources, and base building. This is honestly ARK's way of leaning hard into the RPG aspect that we've seen very prevalent these days in open world survival crafting games, things like Enshrouded, for example, or RuneScape Dragon Wilds. It seems like they're trying to take a little bit of that RPG element and then pump it here into ARK via the Lost Colony DLC. I'm honestly here for it. Next up, let's talk about creatures, because Lost Colony is not short on new creatures. They're going to be introducing 13 new creatures here with this DLC. Some of the ones that stand out are things like the Velwyn, which basically evolves into either the Soulwyn or the Malwyn. One is going to be focused on survival and support, and the other one is going to be pure corruption in combat. The next creature that stand out is the Gigadesmodus, if I'm even saying that correctly here, is basically a flying fortress. It's going to be capable of carrying structures or acting like a mobile command center. Reminds me a little bit here of the Quetzal, or what we've known of the Quetzal up until this point. Next, we have the Aureliax, which is a telekinetic dragon that can lift multiple creatures at once and manipulate gravity. And then you've got enemies like the Neophytes, which are nearly immune to creature damage, which unfortunately means, yeah, we're probably going to have to get off of our tames and creatures from time to time to deal with these Neophytes. And not only is Lost Colony bringing in new creatures, it's also getting a us some massive gear upgrades. First up, we've got cursed weapons and armor, which can roll 2 traits at once, but they do come with their own unique repair rules. Secondly, here we've got new tools like the fabricated crossbow and the tech spear. Both of these are going to push combat variety way further than we've seen before. Additionally, with Lost Colony, we're also getting the base templating, which will allow you to copy and snap entire builds. We're getting tech bunkers, which will allow us players to build underground for the very first time, and stations like the Blood Forge, the War Bench, and the Cryo Hospital, which seriously will clean up the late game pain points. Honestly, all of it sounds insane and probably a little bit too good to be true, but one thing is for certain here, and it looks like Wildcard is finally looking to push a new direction here for ARK, and I'm definitely here for it. I'm just a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, but overall I'm, really excited to dive into the expansion and the DLC as soon as it does drop and check out all of these things for myself. I'm really curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on all of this stuff. As always, let me know down below in the comments. Will you be jumping in here on day one? Is it going to be a hard pass for you? Do you think that this will be what ARK needs and Wildcard needs to propel the community into ARK 2's future in 2026? With that being said, guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on your way out. And with that being said, as always, guys, I'll see ya on the next one.